Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Shanks Ranks, and today we are going to be ranking Edge of Tomorrow. This one was requested by one of my subscribers. Thank you for making that suggestion. This was a great movie. Let's get into some tech specs real quick. So it was released in 2014. It's rated PG-13. It's got a runtime of 1 hour and 53 minutes. For surround sound, we're looking at 7.1 DTS HD master audio. And for the aspect ratio, it's 2:39. So yes, you will have black bars on the top and bottom. So let's take a look at the critics scores. We have IMDb giving it 7.9 out of 10. General audiences on Google seem to give it 4.7 out of 5 stars, and Rotten Tomatoes giving it a whopping 91%. Now I have to say, I really liked this movie a lot. For me, it was Groundhog Day meets Minority Report. If you haven't seen those movies, you need to watch them, especially Groundhog Day. Now the movie, it's about this alien race that invades the Earth. This takes place in the future, obviously. And these aliens are called mimics. And it's been an ongoing war for many, many years. And the poster boy of the United States Army, who's played by Tom Cruise, Mr. Cage, he ends up pissing off the wrong people high on up, and he gets sent to the front lines, where he is destined to die. So he's on the front lines, fighting this war with all the other soldiers and the aliens, and he gets killed. This is, don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything. This is in the preview, so you can see this in the preview. So he gets killed, and something happens that I'm not going to go into because I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen the movie. But something happens where when he dies, he ends up getting woken up again the same day, hours before the battle. Or maybe it's the previous day, I'm not sure. But anyway, point is, every single time he dies, he wakes up the day before. And so, using that, he ends up getting stronger and stronger, learning how to fight more, trying to figure this thing out until he has the right amount of intel to figure out how to take these things down. So anyway, that's all I'm going to tell you about the movie. It's a wonderful movie, you should check it out, but that's not why you're here. You want to hear about the 3D, so let's get into that. So I personally liked it because there's this scene where Cage is being escorted through an airbase, and I was very impressed with the depth that the scene offered, where it looks like Cage and the sergeant are at the front and center of the screen, while everything and everyone on the sides are pushed so far inward, it feels like the viewer can step into the scene and just go for a jog. I mean, look at how blurry these images of Tom Cruise and Bill Paxton are. By the way, that was another reason why I liked the movie. I know that he didn't have a huge role in the movie, but I love Bill Paxton, rest in peace, and I am so glad I got to see him in this movie. Another scene, let's see, when they're getting ready to drop into combat, this whole scene looks pretty good too, with Paxton at the front and center, just as the other scene before, and all the soldiers are on the sides of the airship, just stretching inward, and it really makes you feel like you're about to drop off with them. There's also a scene in battle where Cage is surrounded by all this warfare going on. The guns on his little armor suit are kind of popping out here and there, and there's sand, being blown up with explosions that kind of flies off the screen a little bit. Not too far, it kind of comes out maybe about an inch or so out of your screen, but it's very noticeable. Then there's a scene with this mimic where its tentacles are just kind of shooting out at the viewer a few times, and that kind of looks like it's popping off the screen too, but if you pay close attention, it's not really popping out too much. It's probably just barely. It's just that the depth is so good, it's stretched in so far that it really does make it look like it is popping out of your screen further. But it's not. There's no gimmicky pop-out scenes like that in the movie where it's coming out of your screen and into your face or anything like that. But I did appreciate how the depth really kind of made it look like it was popping out. Then we have the scene where this alpha mimic is approaching, and here, same thing. It looks like it's about to come out of your screen a little bit, but that's just because the depth is stretched so far inward. Then we have this scene where the mimic, the alpha mimic, explodes, and it looks like it's, blue guts or whatever that is coming off of the screen a little bit. I think the most it comes off is probably about an inch outside of your screen. Then we have the scene where Rita, played by Emily Blunt, is pulling out her pistol on Cage. So while they're training, every single time he gets injured, she ends up having to kill him to reset him. So she pulls this gun on him every time. It's like a loop. And every time she pulls this pistol out, it looks like the pistol is protruding out of the screen. Probably about 6 inches out of the screen. That's what it looked like to me. Then we have this scene where Cage is in this battle simulator, again training with Emily Blunt's character, and this scene stretches so far inward into the picture, and those little spinning objects that you see there that are supposed to be like the mimics, those things kind of pop out of the screen a little bit. Again, nothing too far out of your screen, probably just about like a few inches maybe. And then finally, the ending, I really loved this scene where Cage is floating in the water, and you've got all this plasma-looking stuff. Kind of reminds me of jellyfish, and the depth is just phenomenal, and all the bubbles look like they're popping off the screen as well. This is probably the best demonstration of pop-out effects in the movie. It doesn't last very long, but the bubbles look like they're probably about, I don't know, 1.5 feet to maybe 2 feet into your viewing space. At least that's what it was for me. But yeah, I thought this was a fantastic 3D presentation. So for picture quality, I have to say 3.9 out of 5. There were some scenes where it looked like the picture on people's faces were a little too soft, like maybe there was some digital noise reduction going on. For the most part though, it was pretty sharp, and I also liked how the brightness was perfect throughout the whole movie. There were some dark scenes toward the end, but it didn't affect the three-dimensional effects at all, and it still looked fantastic. For depth, I'm obviously giving this one 5 out of 5 stars. The depth was consistent throughout the entire movie. You know what? It also gave me Top Gun vibes. I don't know if you've ever seen Top Gun in 3D, but that's another one. Maybe I should do a review on that as well. But like I said, the depth was consistent throughout the entire movie. So many layers, as you can see, with all the blurriness. And the depth was so good that things that were on the edge of the screen almost looked like they were popping out, even though they weren't really popping out. But that's how good the depth was. For pop-out effects, I'm giving this 1.8 out of 5 stars. Obviously, this movie was focused on depth. Not a whole lot of pop-outs. We have Emily Blunt's gun pointing out of the screen. We have the mimic approaching the viewer out of the screen. We have explosions that kind of demonstrate a little bit of pop-out. And then the water bubbles at the end of the movie, like I said. But other than that, nothing that really comes out at you, nothing really gimmicky like House of Wax or Friday the 13th, nothing like that. Overall, I'm gonna put this one in B tier. I thought it was a fantastic movie all in all. Like I said, even if you're only watching it in 2D, you have to watch it. I think it's a wonderful movie. I think Rotten Tomatoes was correct in giving it a 91% certified fresh or whatever they call it. It's a fantastic movie. And the 3D is really good too. I highly recommend it. I'm gonna see if I can find a link for Amazon, maybe that you can still purchase it online at a pretty decent price, and I'll leave that in the description. Anyway, if you guys liked this video, please consider subscribing so I can continue making content. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.